hockey night tonight. Tension grows, the whistle blows, and the puck goes down the ice. The goalie jumps and the players bump and the fans all go insane. Someone roars, Bobby scores at the good old hockey game. Oh, the good old hockey game is the best game you can name. And the best game you can name is the good old hockey game. Second period, where players dance with skates aflash, the home team trails behind, but they grab the puck and go bursting up, and they're down across the line. They storm the crease like bumblebees, they travel like a burning flame. We see them slide the puck inside, it's a 1-1 hockey game. Oh, the good old hockey game is the best game you can name. And
the good old hockey game. So my question is where has the good old hockey game gone? This is my NHL season review, 2016-17, as the year winds down. I'm going to have a season review for most of the major sports in North America, plus the Premier League across the pond coming up in the next few days. I want to start this podcast off by once again sending my condolences. It's been a tough 2016 for a lot of people, including myself, especially near the end. It started shit, it ended shit, but I learned a lot. But I want to send my condolences to Carrie Fisher, Princess Leia. The Grim Reaper of 2016 strikes again. Told you that it wouldn't told you we wouldn't get through the end of the year without the Grim Reaper claiming somebody else. It's been a hell of a week. Sagler, well, I guess a week and a half. Sager, George Michael, Carrie Fisher. The list goes on. The list goes on. But I'm not here to talk about all that. I just want to send my condolences. Tough times. I'm a big Star Wars fan. I haven't watched the new Star Wars, but I'm going to try to get out to the theaters and catch it. I don't go to the theaters for too many movies, but I think this will be one that I venture off by myself and sit down with a mixed drink, because why not? And some theater food. I'll go catch it in honor of Carrie Fisher. But we're here to talk about some puck. We're here to talk about some NHL. I'm going to go through a season review. I was just on on Sportsnet there, and they had the top NHL stories of 2016, the year that shook the hockey world. And if this is what shook the fucking hockey world, really? Really? Where is the state of fucking hockey gone? Because I'll get to it. But basically, Sportsnet's number one fucking hockey story of 2016 is something that didn't even fucking happen on the fucking ice. And I'll get to that in a little bit. The craziest 23 minutes in hockey. 23 minutes that shook the hockey world. Ooh. But we'll start off here. They got like the 10 top stories. Of course, it wouldn't be Sportsnet and the NHL if they didn't try to include the World Cup of Hockey and try to fucking put some whipped cream and fucking icing and cherries on top of it. Even though, in my opinion, it was a disaster. People in Toronto didn't even really fucking care that it was going on, or know that it was going on. Ticket sales were a fucking disaster. How the hell can you call something the World Cup of Hockey when you have 6 nations and 2 made-up fucking countries? Simple as that. Simple as that. Right then and there, I just couldn't get into it. Maybe they called it the NHL Cup. I understand, because they're trying to get all their NHL players into it. But I watched maybe a period and a half of the whole thing. Yeah, the young guns were kind of interesting and exciting. But like, what the fuck, man? What if they won? What if they legitimately won? They're not even able to defend their fucking crown. Or there's some players on that fucking team that would probably be better suited playing for the men's national team rather than going back and playing for an under-23 team or whatever. And I hear talks about them getting rid of it. So why? Is this just a big fucking joke? You change it like you change the rules in the NHL every fucking year? Thought it was a disappointment. Didn't like it. No, I will give Sidney Crosby kudos for fucking captaining the team, because that just kind of capped off a hell of a fucking season for him. A hell of a calendar year. Ever since the All-Star Game snub, Sidney Crosby definitely has been the best player in the NHL. Like, not too long ago there, I saw that he had 50 goals in 72 games in the calendar year. That's pretty fucking good in this day and age. He's definitely been the best hockey player since the fucking... definitely been the best hockey player since the All-Star Game. Now, did he deserve to win? Does he deserve to win the MVP or whatever last year? No, because of what he did in the first half. You know, Patrick Kane put in a hell of a fucking performance last year. A hell of a performance by Patrick Kane last year. Hell of a performance. But in my opinion, Sidney Crosby shook it off. He had the scare with the concussion earlier this season before the season started. I think they're still babying him. But I will give a congratulations to Sidney Crosby out of that. But the World Cup of Hockey can go away. I want the Olympics. Doesn't look like the players are going to the Olympics. I think that's a bigger story than anything. How the hell do you expect to grow your game if you're not fucking playing in the biggest fucking tournament globally? I think the only other big one is FIFA. So, you know, you got all eyes on you. Especially over in Asia. You want to grow that market where the money is? And speaking of Sidney Crosby, Sportsnet had the Penguins Stanley Cup March at number 9. I would put him a little bit higher because of what they had to go through with hiring a new head coach, Mike Sullivan, changing the way they played. They played a really nice fucking up-tempo style of game. Yeah, boring. I'll get to the state of the game in a little bit, but they got the fucking job done. And I have to admit, I didn't watch a whole hell of a lot of the playoffs, but it is still the best domestic tournament in North America, in my opinion. You got March Madness, you got the NHL playoffs. I think those are 1A and 1B. Now, a little congratulations to Jaromir Jagr. This recently happened, passing Mark Messier, number 2 on the all-time point list. I think that definitely should be up there in one of the big moments of the fucking season. Guy seems to play forever. We got to remember he went and played the KHL for 3 years, or he would have already done this. You want to talk about changing your fucking image and persona? Jaromir Jagr's done a complete fucking 180 from the days where he was doing his salute and he was like Mr. Serious and you never heard about him. Now he just kind of laughs. He's just a human being. A little bit of personality. I like to see Jagr talk. It's a little bit of fucking personality, man. And of course it takes an old school dog to fucking show a little personality in the fucking game of hockey. Now they were talking here about Wideman. Remember Wideman got the concussion? Then he fucking hit the linesman? That was hilarious. It was awesome. It's fucking hockey. Shit fucking happens. I still don't understand why he would hit a linesman. Maybe he didn't know it was the linesman because he fucking was shooken up or whatever. But he did have enough up here to know what was going on, in my opinion. He knew what he was fucking doing. He blatantly went out of his fucking way to do it. But I don't know if he knew it was the linesman. I don't know. Because, like, they're not going to make that call. It's up to the referee and stuff like that, right? But he wanted to make his point. Definitely made his point. It was a fucking bizarre fucking incident. And then the most bizarre thing was what happened afterwards when they couldn't decide how many fucking games they were going to suspend this guy for. Remember he ended up, like, sitting out for whatever? Like, he was initially served a 20-game suspension, and it was later reduced to 10, but he had already served 19 fucking games when they were trying to figure this shit out. That, on its own right, is a fucking joke, and it just sums up what the NHL really is. Now, they were talking about Jonathan Drouin demanding a trade. I don't even want to talk about Jonathan Drouin, because to me, it's not even a fucking topic of a fucking issue. This is what you can come up with. Really, this is your 6th biggest fucking story of the NHL. Some little punk fucking kid. They just come in and played fucking little above average. Nothing fucking crazy. Nothing fucking special. I don't even want to talk about Jonathan Drouin and the whole fucking shitty thing. Coolest thing about it, though, is I saw Mark Masters down at the ACC the day that shit was kind of fucking ramping up. And then he was down there. We were at the ACC Mike Babcock press conference and stuff. And Masters there asking questions of Babcock, doing his whole fucking deal. And then fucking like 14 hours later, not even, I was up early in the morning at like 7 in the morning, and there's Mark Masters fucking in New Jersey talking about Jonathan Durant. What a fucking job, man. But to me, much ado about nothing. Now Las Vegas is definitely a worthy topic in the season review. What a joke this is. Now, in my opinion, I don't think the NHL needs another team. I think the league is watered down as it is. I think we could get rid of a fucking couple teams first and foremost. I think we could have a team in a better fucking city that brings a more traditional culture of hockey to the game, like Quebec City. You know what's wrong with that? Now the Canadian dollar and everything and finance and et cetera, that's a problem. Don't want to really get into it. But the Las Vegas fucking team comes out and they can't even get their fucking name right. This is totally the fucking NHL. Like, this is just everything with Gary Bettman, the NHL, and everything fucking is, man. It's a joke. Rather than fucking preventing, rather than doing their just duty and preventing fucking mess and fucking making themselves look like an idiot, all they do is react. All they do is react in the NHL. They never do anything smart. They never fucking look ahead. They never look to the future. They always just react. And it looks fucking hilarious on them. The Las Vegas Golden Knights. Well, obviously, the owner, he had shit to do with fucking West Point and the Army and stuff like that. And the parachute is funny because, like, 2 weeks after this happened, I saw the Golden Knights are actually parachuting into the Army football game. But their nickname for the fucking parachuting company or whatever is the Golden Knights. And that's not even the problem. This is some Division 2 team is fucking nicknamed the Golden Knights, and they don't like it. They need to recruit people too as well, man. Even college. It's fucking business, man. People fucking go on Google, type in the Golden Knights. They want their fucking college to come up first, not a bunch of Las Vegas shit. So I see it. I can see it. But, the screen, where they tried to play the video, had glitches. The guy stood right in front of the screen. The guy wasn't very good on the fucking mic. Can't get the team name right. It's a disaster. A disaster. It seems like a lot of these stories, I think, really are disasters. My stomach's churning here right now. I'm all fucking pumped up. The one thing, as a Montreal Canadian fan, that I was embarrassed about when I was reading this list and stuff, and I definitely think it should be on there, because it definitely fucking, fucking stirred the fucking pot, was the John Scott All-Star fucking situation. Like, what a joke that was. Now, first and foremost, I'm not the biggest fan with the fan voting and having that as the end-all, be-all, because half of the fans are fucking stupid. Half the people aren't even fans that are voting. They just want to see something funny, something to talk about, create a fucking social media story. It's fucking hilarious. So John Scott probably should have never been voted in the first place. But the fact that he was and the way he was treated afterwards by Phoenix and the Montreal Canadiens and the NHL is an absolute fucking joke. The fact that the Montreal Canadiens were involved with this is a joke. An absolute fucking joke and an embarrassment on our fucking franchise. I would have been like, fuck you, play the guy. Fuck you, play him. Because they basically, long story short, he got voted in. And he got all this fucking attention. And then they fucking took him out of the fucking lineup, basically. He wasn't playing a hell of a whole lot anyways. Then they sent him down to the AHL. Then they traded him to Montreal, and he was in the AHL. In Montreal's system when the fucking actual All-Star game went on. And he was the captain of the All-Star. It was a fucking joke. And I feel bad for John Scott getting dragged through that. He's a fucking good guy. He's trying to work his ass off to play in the fucking NHL and earn a paycheck for his family. So the league basically pressured Scott to gracefully bow out. But he went anyways. Scored a couple of goals, harder shot, so good on you, Scott. You fucking deserve it. Like he said, man, it's for my kids and stuff like that. He had the gloves and all that kind of shit, that they got. He's like, I can give my gloves to the kids and stuff. I can tell them the story when I was an all-star. You know what I mean? So, yeah, a good story. I understand the meaning and the story of voting him in. It was a good story, and it became a great story. Once he was voted in, so fucking what? But the way the NHL handled it, the way fucking Phoenix Coyotes handled it, the Montreal Canadiens was a joke. An absolute joke. Now, obviously, Sportsnet has the Austin Matthews fucking draft at number 2. Now, they couldn't have a top 10 of the NHL stories without having the Toronto Maple Leafs and Austin fucking Matthews fucking in, because they had this story written fucking months ago, because that's all they've fucking done. Their fucking broadcasting sucks. The shit that they're fucking putting on TV fucking sucks. They're firing everybody left, right, and center. But yet, it's Austin Matthews, and he's the greatest thing in the fucking world. Just like fucking Edwin Encarnacion and Batista are dirt, but if they signed him, they'd be the greatest thing in the world. That's how the Toronto fucking media seems to fucking work with a lot of these fucking franchises. Now, Austin Matthews, does he deserve to be a fucking top story? Yeah, top 10, no. So fucking what, man? Maybe number 10. Maybe Matthews and Laney combined, because there's two fucking superior talents, much like Crosby and Ovechkin when they came into the NHL. You know? Maybe that's a story for you. But the fact that it's just all on its own, so fucking what, man? The Leafs are still who the Leafs fucking are. They're what? Second, third from the basement in the fucking Eastern Conference? They play a much better brand of hockey, and Leaf fans should be pumped. They have much better fucking talent, you know? But they're still the fucking Toronto Maple Leafs. And I'll judge Austin Matthews when he has a year under his belt and he starts the year next year. Because teams will figure him out. He's got to figure the game out a little bit. And I absolutely hate, like every day I turn on the radio and all I hear is Austin Matthews versus Sidney Crosby. Austin Matthews, Mario Lemieux. Austin Matthews, Joe Sakic. Austin Matthews versus Patrick Laney. Patrick Laney versus Teemu Selanne. Stop fucking comparing these people, man. And just talk about how they are fucking playing. You know? Talk about the fucking game. Talk about the impact he has made in the game. Or the impact he did not make in the game. I'm sick and tired. It's the easiest thing for you fuckers to talk about on radio and TV. And you do it every day. Now, he is the number one center. It is big news because the Leafs have sucked for so long. But like I said, I think it's him and Laney are probably a combined story in the top 10 to see these number 1, number 2 rooks come in and make an impact the way they have. And another thing about the Austin Matthews situation, which I never hear a whole lot about, which is a very interesting angle about this, because all I hear about them is comparing and stuff like that. And then fucking Sportsnet and TSN are always so gung-ho about the draft and the prospects. I'm thinking about this because the World Juniors and stuff like that. I wish there was more fucking emphasis, more of a story on Austin Matthews telling the fucking OHL to go fuck itself, telling the fucking NCAA to go fuck itself, and I'm going to go get paid like a man and play in fucking Switzerland. I'm going to get paid like an adult and play in Switzerland. Because I think that's a fucking big route for a lot of players to fucking take. Why wouldn't you want to go get paid at 18? You're an adult. You know what I mean? Why wouldn't you? Why would you want to play for fucking free and shit like that, man? In this day and age, when there is no loyalty in it, it's all about business, it's all about money. I wish there was more to do about that, because it's a very interesting angle. I'd love to really hear what he thinks about it and why he fucking did it, and what he thinks about, you know, the financial angle of it. But good hockey player nonetheless. Good hockey player nonetheless. Which brings me to the Sportsnet's number 1 story of the NHL 2016 season. It is the 23 minutes that shook the hockey world. Oh, it really shook it to its fucking core, baby. Oh, it did. It shook it. It shook it so much that fucking, it was like on the last fucking blocks of ESPN and fucking shit like that. America didn't even give a shit. People across the pond could care less. The only people that cared were people in Canada. So it should be 23 minutes that shook the Canada hockey world. Not the hockey world, but the Canada hockey world. Because nobody else cared. And that's when they're talking about The Taylor Hall, Adam Larson trade, and the PK Subban, Shea Weber trade. This is the 23 minutes that shook the world, and Steven Stamkos re-signing with the Tampa Bay Lightning and not going to the Toronto Maple Leafs, even though he had a choice of 29 other fucking NHL teams, and everybody, he's going to Toronto. He's going to Toronto. That's all I heard for a year. That's how inept Toronto Maple Leaf fans are half the time. That's how much they cling to hope. When there really is no hope. A little bit of hope now, but, still got to build, still got to progress. But for the fact that the NHL and Sportsnet are saying their biggest story came off the ice in the fucking middle of summer, basically, is hilarious, because who cares about hockey in July? Who cares about hockey in June? June 29th is when it happened. Who cares about hockey on June 29th? At June 29th, I'm glad the Stanley Cup is fucking over. Yeah, I love the free agency, and I like the NHL draft, and et cetera, and I will pay attention to it. But, come on, man. It's June. We shouldn't even be playing hockey or hockey, you know what I mean? By the time it's fucking end of May, it should be over. Over at the end of May. But, two big trades, and I'll get to it in a little bit. The Taylor Hall, Adam Larson trade had to happen for the Edmonton Oilers. They had to sacrifice somebody. I still was shocked they sacrificed fucking Taylor Hall. But obviously Ryan Nugent-Hopkins, Jordan Eberle of the world, their value has decreased. They couldn't get what they wanted for those players. Simple as fucking that. Simple as that. So they had to fucking trade one of their bigger players, someone that could perform, put the puck in the net, and Taylor Hall was the odd man out. Hall hasn't done a whole lot this year. Kind of invisible. Now Adam Larson, people may think he's invisible, but he's made a massive impact on the Edmonton Oilers. Massive fucking impact. Playing with Clefbaum. Hell of a fucking first pairing. He's not flashy, but he gets the fucking job done. Something that the Edmonton Oilers needed to do. So I'll give a lot of credit for the Edmonton organization for doing that. They got rid of all the old dinosaurs. Chiarelli knew he had to fucking do something. He just knew he had to. And I think it was the right move. Now the bigger trade was the PK Subban, Shea Weber, which had everybody up in arms and everybody questioning the Montreal dressing room and trying to dig into this and trying to dig into that. Why did it happen? Subban with the donations to the Montreal Children's Hospital, why this time, etc., etc. Well, you know what? Montreal got off to a blazing start last year. We lost our best player. I think he fucking sprained his ACL or MCL. It was something like that. And Price came back and re-injured it. We all know the story. The Montreal Canadiens fell off the face of the fucking earth. We couldn't score. We had Galchenyuk and guys going out partying, getting in shit with fucking ex-girlfriends and stuff. We had all the rumors about the dressing room and shit like that. The rift between Pacioretty and Subban, etc., the captaincy stuff. But the one thing we learned was we weren't good enough. There was something. Something wasn't good enough. There was something wrong. So something had to be done. And the culture had to change. Now I'm a huge PK Subban fan. I'd love to have Subban still on my team. Massive. I love the personality of the game with him, which I'm going to end with here coming up. But I'd still love to have him. I'm loyal to him. He was great on and off the ice in Montreal. Yes, did he make mistakes? Yeah. Was he frustrating at times? Yeah. Do I think he tried to rub people the wrong way? No. It's just who he is. He's got a personality, man. He's not a robot. But I do think if we had Shea Weber in our dressing room last year, we wouldn't have obviously been nearly as good as we were to start the season. And we wouldn't have been nearly as good as we were with Carey Price. And a big problem is that our third and fourth liners last year were scoring all our fucking goals. Dale Weiss, Thomas Fleischmans of the world. That wasn't going to sustain. But I do believe with Shea Weber in the room, I think he's changed our culture that much. It's amazing what one man can kind of do. I think it's allowed the coaching staff to also transition it. I don't think it would have happened. So it had to be done. I think Shea Weber has brought a lot to our dressing room. He's playing amazing on the ice. Fuck, what a shot that guy has. What a fucking defenseman he has, man. If I'm Carey Price, I'm just like, this is awesome, man. This is fucking great. But I do think with Weber, I don't think it would have happened as badly last year. Would we miss the playoffs? Yeah, I do think so. Would we be in the fight? Yeah, I do. So it had to happen. We learned that we weren't good enough in Montreal. And something had to happen. But the fact that this is their fucking biggest fucking story is fucking absolutely fucking hilarious. To me, I don't know. The biggest story for me, I don't know, when I think about the NHL right now, is, like, I grew up playing AAA, had a little stint in some junior as a backup, so I've seen some hockey, I've seen the political aspects of it as a minor hockey player, and I grew tired of it and stuff like that. I was just beat down, traveling, politics, but I loved it. I loved playing. I loved stopping the puck. I love the competition. I like the group of guys in the room. That's the biggest thing, the camaraderie of the players. But I find hockey so boring right now. It's just boring. The last 2 years, 3 years or more, it's been boring. And where do I begin? Yeah, there's some talented players. Yeah, the game is faster than ever, but it's boring. It's the same fucking thing over and over again. With no animosity, very little intensity out there. Maybe intensity is a different way, but I can't see it. Chip the puck in, blah, 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 blah. The same shit on the power plays. Very little creativity. You got 85% of the players being cautious out there. Like 15% of the players trying to do something. Very fucking boring. The broadcasts are boring. The pregame shows are fucking boring. The only thing I look forward to is Coach's Corner. All the players are robots. The broadcasters are like fucking robots. Afraid to say an opinion. Afraid to make things exciting. They go on like I'm tired of Ron McLean trying to come up with fucking these cheeky little things to end the fucking shows and stuff. Give me some personality during it. Give me something during it. The show. The pregame. Not no like monotone, like serious, like fucking Peter Mansbridge CBC News style fucking shit, man. I'm tired of it. Everybody freaked out with Strombo because he was new and different. Well, things change, man. All good things come to an end. The world never stops turning. When I turn into the NFL, when I turn into the Premier League, turn into college sports, it's exciting. The pregame shows are exciting. The pregame interviews are exciting. It's different. I want to watch it. The commentators are great. I learned stuff. It's exciting. They're not robots out there. They're not just trying to praise stuff. You know what I mean? It's boring. I've had enough of it. You know what I mean? And I watch the Hab games. That's about it. That's about it. I can't get into anything. And I think the whole presentation with regional blackouts and all this fucking bullshit pisses me off. Rogers is like, oh, there's going to be more hockey on than ever. It was like there's like less hockey on than ever. Everything's blacked the fuck out. Yeah, you get more options Saturday night. That's about it. But, I watch a game without seeing hits or face washes or anything like that. It's, everybody's freaking out when Price is pummeling Palmieri with his blocker and stuff like that. That's what I like this. It's hockey, man. That's what happens. Allow these people to be emotional and say their personalities. Like when Connor McDavid was trying to rip Brendan Manning for ripping him on the ice. He was like a little pussy. It was hilarious. It was comical. I was like, this is a joke. He couldn't do it. It's like he couldn't do it. I was like, this is garbage. I was just thinking about Pac-Man Jones. It's like, this is garbage. You know what I mean? I was like, fuck. So, I think the state of the game, presentation, things need to change. They need to be less robots out there. That's why I like PK Subban. Because you can see his personality in the fucking game a little bit, man. You can get attached to a player. Patrick Wall back in the day, and Forsberg, and Cam Neely, and fucking the Darcy Tuckers of the worlds, and even Sean fucking Avery, man. I love Sean Avery because you didn't know what was gonna happen out there, man. He was a half decent little fucking hockey player. People won't fucking admit it, and he fucking stirred the pot and he created shit. Like they basically took the reins off Brad Marchand and said, no, you can't do any of that shit. No, it doesn't look good. We gotta be old and boring. The dinosaur league. So I love hockey, but something's got to change in it. Something's got to change. I didn't mind the hooking and holding and stuff like that because everybody did it, and it was good hockey. And you had to battle. It's like you had to fight more for it. Now it just seems to come so fucking easy for them. It's like everything is handed to these kids. But I'll just end it with a little bit. Yeah, I do think Sidney Crosby was the best player, best forward after the All-Star break. I think Patrick Kane was the best overall. He put in a hell of a fucking performance last fucking year. Hell of a performance. He's continued it this year. Guy's matured a lot, is growing up. Chicago Blackhawks are losing players left, right, and center, and he seems to keep stepping up. Now I'd give a shout out to Brent Burns, who by far was the best defenseman in the NHL last year. Now Drew Doughty was pretty damn good. Pretty sure Drew Doughty took home the Norris Trophy, and he deserves it. What a fucking defenseman Drew Doughty is. Just does everything fucking right. But Brent Burns did some things last year that, from a defenseman, that you don't see. It made it exciting to see him busting up the fucking wing, pushing forward, seeing his personality, seeing his beard, shooting the shit afterwards. You know? So give a shout out to Brent Burns. In my opinion, you were the best defenseman of the calendar year, 2016-17. And then Braden Holtby and Devin Dubnyk. 1A and 1B. Where do I begin with Devin Dubnyk? Save percentage is like almost 960 for fuck's sakes. That's like unheard of. Like, that's crazy, man. Absolutely crazy. He's like owning all the fucking goaltending stats except for wins because Minnesota is what it is. But Minnesota's on an 11 fucking game win streak. And Braden Holtby, he finally stepped up and grew up into his skates and filled those skates and performed like everybody thought he'd be able to perform. Now Washington's a good team. Yes, they help him out. Barry Trotz, very fucking systematically defined. But Braden Holtby finally stepped up. And I give him a lot of credit. And I thought between him and Dubnyk, they put on a hell of a goaltending performance last year. Now, so the Montreal Canadiens, we have a long road ahead of us. Once again, we're kind of in a goal-scoring... I don't want to hit the panic button, but once again, we're relying on people who score goals for us that it's not going to fucking sustain. Now, Radulov's been a nice fucking improvement on our team. Pacioretty's been fucking slow as fuck. Starting out of the gate, like, wake up, Pacioretty, we fucking need you. Where are you, Plekanec as well? But Radulov's been a nice fucking addition. Brings a little pizzazz, a little BAM! Fucking to it. We need a couple more players like that. We need a scorer. We need a fucking scorer really, really, really bad. Our defense is stepping up. Our goaltending is what it is. We got a lot of nice little depth fucking players. It'd be nice if Sherbeck could fucking figure his game out and learn how to score in the AHL. And we can call him up and maybe get some firepower. But keep an eye out. I'm going to talk a little NFL tomorrow as the Week 17 looms. And the NFL playoffs are starting to figure everything all out. Everything's all starting to come into place. I'll have a season review of that. Pretty fucking shitty that Mariota went down with a leg, broken tibia. Fuck guy doesn't deserve that fucking shit, man. It looked like a harmless play, too. Like, I've seen guys get fucking wrapped up a lot more, but it was just the way the leg kind of bent. And you have a fucking 300-pound guy fucking pushing your leg one way, and you're going the other way. And, it's a shitty way to end the season, put it that way. But I'm sorry that this rambled on to about a half an hour. Kind of sucks. I always try to keep it shorter. Remember, you can find my work on Twitter at KJohnstonMic'dUp. You can find my work on my blog site, KyleJohnstonMic'dUp.wordpress.com. And good old Stompin' Connors said it the best.
The Canadians win the good old hockey game. Hockey game is the best game you can name. And the best game you can name is the good old hockey game. Oh, the good old hockey game is the best game you can name. And the best game you can name is the good old hockey game.